Okay, what if I told you that pretty much everything you think you know about power is, well, wrong? What if it has less to do with your job title or how much money you have, and way more to do with what's going on inside your own head? Today, we're going to dive deep into the psychology behind real, actual power.
So, let's just get right to it. When you hear that word power, what's the first thing that pops into your mind? Really think about it. Is it money? That feeling of having a limitless bank account, the ability to just buy whatever you want whenever you want? Or maybe it's not about the cash. Maybe it's about status. Having that impressive title, the corner office, getting that public recognition that says, hey, I've made it. Well, here's the big secret we're unpacking today. Real power isn't about any of that. It isn't about controlling other people at all. It's about controlling perception. And that all starts and ends right here with you. It's an inside job. And this right here, this busts a huge myth. We're so used to thinking that the loudest, most aggressive person is the one in charge. But true power, it's quiet. It doesn't need to yell. The most powerful person in the room is almost always the calmest one. That quiet confidence, it's built on just one thing: self-control. I mean, think about it from a basic survival level. If there's a crisis, who are you going to follow? The person freaking out or the one who's calm and collected? When you can regulate your own emotions, you're sending a signal to everyone around you that you're competent, that you're a leader. You project authority because you first have authority over yourself. I absolutely love this quote. Your nervous system becomes your first throne. If you can't even rule the kingdom inside your own mind and body, how can you possibly expect to influence anything outside of it? It always, always starts from within. So this really breaks down into two different paths. On one side, you've got positional power. That's the power that comes with a title, like manager or CEO. But here's the thing, it can be taken away just as easily as it was given. But then there's personal power, and that's totally different. It isn't given to you, you build it. It comes from your very presence, and anyone can cultivate it. So how do you actually build that personal power? Well, it stands on these three pillars. First, confidence. That's just believing you can handle whatever comes your way. Second, competence. This is the proof that you actually know what you're talking about. And third, consistency. Showing people over time that you're reliable. In a world this chaotic, that combination is like a magnet for influence. Now, let's add another little psychological trick to this: scarcity. It's a basic rule in economics and in our brains. The rarer something is, the more valuable we think it is. And that doesn't just apply to diamonds, it applies to you. And you can actually create this sense of scarcity with your behavior. When you don't overshare every little thought, when you're not desperate for the spotlight, and when you don't fire back an instant emotional reply to everything, you build a little mystery, and people become way more interested in what you do decide to share. That mystery, it commands respect. Okay, so beyond just perception, there's a very practical engine that makes all of this run, and that's leverage. At the end of the day, real power comes from having or controlling resources that other people want or need. It's that simple. If they need what you have, you've got leverage. And when we say resources, don't just think about money. It's so much bigger than that. It could be specialized knowledge that nobody else has. It could be connections that open up doors and create opportunities. But you know what the ultimate resource is? The ability to solve other people's problems. If you become a go-to problem solver, you become essential. And the best part is, you can start doing this right now with just a few tiny shifts. 1, stand up straight. Your posture screams confidence before you even say a word. 2, speak slower. Talking fast signals anxiety, but a slower, measured pace signals authority. And 3, master the pause. Before you answer, just take a beat. It shows you think before you speak, and it makes people lean in to hear what you have to say. But as you start to build this up, you're going to notice something kind of strange. There's a big, fascinating paradox right at the heart of this whole thing. And here it is. The more obsessed someone is with getting power, the less of it they actually have. That constant need for control, it's just a huge blinking sign of deep insecurity. Real power, the kind that actually lasts, is quiet. It's confident. It doesn't have anything to prove to anyone. This is such a critical idea to get. When you can let go of the need to be liked by every single person, you can start focusing on what really matters: earning respect. Popularity comes and goes. It's fragile. But respect, That's deep, and it's durable. That's the real foundation.
But, and this is a big but, there's a warning that comes with all of this. As you gain more influence, you have to be super aware that power itself can actually change you, and not always for the better. Psychologists have a term for it, a reduction in social threat sensitivity. Basically, the more power you get, the less you tend to worry about the social consequences of your actions. On one hand, that can make you more decisive, but on the other, it can seriously erode your empathy, making you kind of blind and deaf to how others are feeling. And this is exactly why character is the ultimate firewall. Without character, power almost always twists into control and domination. But with character, with things like empathy and integrity, power transforms into real leadership. It becomes a choice you make. So let's put it all together. Here's the blueprint. It all starts inside. Master your emotions and increase your competence. Then it moves outward. Control your reactions, build real value for other people, and make a habit of speaking less and observing more. The whole game is about developing that inner power first, long before you look for any external validation. And if you remember just one thing, make it this. External power, titles, money, status, all of that can disappear in an instant. It's temporary. But internal power, the kind that comes from self-mastery and character, that's magnetic. People are just naturally drawn to it. So I'm going to leave you with a question to think about. Take a second and think about the influence you have in your own life, with your family, your friends, at work. Is that influence based on something external, something that can be taken away? Or is it based on who you are as a person? Is your power internal or is it external? Hey, if this explainer changed how you see power, even a little bit, let us know by hitting that like button. We would love to read what power means to you down in the comments. And of course, to keep building up your own internal power with more insights like this, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching.